Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. And thank you for joining me for my next in the series, Thanksgiving Table Favors for 2021. And today, this is the inspiration for my favor that I'll be making. And if you've been tuning in, you know that Mr. Brown has been showing us some beautiful napkin folds to go along with the table favors. So stay tuned to the end of the video and you'll see another fold. So I am using the Gorgeous Leaves bundle from the holiday catalog and also the Well-Defined set. And I'm using this gratitude stamp here to accent our little box that we're going to make today. Now for this box, you can use it to put some treats in or a little gift, and I'll show you a couple of examples when we get finished making the box. All right, to start with, I have a piece of designer paper cut at 5.5 by 8.5. This is that beautiful Blackberry Beauty paper, but you could use anything you have on hand that will coordinate with your table scape. So I'm going to get my Simply Scored scoring tool. And you can see here, it's 5.5 by 8.5, and we're going to score it at 2, 4, 6, and 8. And then we're going to turn it, put the short side up, and score it at 2. This is one of the first boxes that I've ever made in my paper crafting career. I've been a demonstrator this month. No, it was last month. I celebrated my 15th anniversary with Stampin' Up! And this was one of the first little 3D projects that I made, and I have made so many of them because it's such a great little size. Okay, so there's 2, 4, 6, and 8. Let's flip it and go with 2. All right, let's put the Simply Scored aside, and we're going to fold on these score lines. And this other side is just gorgeous too. So this paper doesn't have directionality, okay? But if it did, you would want to make sure when you turned to do that last 2-inch score that the top of your paper was up here, because your box is going to go like this, okay? All right, so let's do some trimming here. I'm going to cut off this narrow rectangle formed by the intersecting scores at that last it was that 8-inch score, so we have an 1/2 inch tab right there, and then you're just going to cut up on all of these score lines up to that 2-inch score that we made when we flipped the paper. Okay, so I'm going to get some, let me get my silicone mat here, and I'm going to put some adhesive right here on this tab. On the right side, I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus. You could use liquid glue. You could use our tear-in tape. Just chose this one as a quick and easy way to make this box go together. So I'm gonna match the tops up here and then along the side and just make sure that's lined up and then give it a good press. Okay, so now we have the construction of the box. I'm going to find this back seam here, right here, and I'm going to call this the back of my box, okay? So I'm going to put that flap down. That's my back. I'm going to go ahead and put in these 2 side flaps, then fold the back flap in and then the front flap. And I do that so that I don't have a seam right here at what I'm calling the front of my box. It'll be here at the back. And at this point, you would put your adhesive to secure the box. You could easily make this out of a solid color cardstock as well. Okay, so there's a good size box. I'm gonna go ahead and pinch in those sides. Just push your index fingers in the center and give it a good crease and kind of squeeze it going down, okay? And it gives it that pretty shape. All right, so while I've got the box here, let me show you. I can put about 3 of these Andes mints in here, okay? Let's see, probably even 4. All right, yep. And then also, if you were having a Friendsgiving or a wanted to give a nice little gift at your table setting, it also holds a bottle of essential oil, and that's about a 1/3 of an ounce there. Okay, so let's go ahead and embellish this. First of all, I'm going to stamp, and I've got a 2, and this is a little longer than 5, but you need about a 2x5 strip so you have room to hold your paper when you punch it. This is our very vanilla, and we're going to stamp and punch. So I've got that gratitude stamp from the Well-Defined set, and I have Blackberry Bliss. So let's ink that up. And then I'm going to stamp it just right there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and punch it out with the Everyday Label Punch. Okay, this is from the annual catalog. I'm going to slip that in and make sure that bottom line of the definition is going straight across. Okay, and then we're going to take it and stamp over this with a wood grain stamp from that Gorgeous Leaves set. So I'm going to put that there on some scrap paper. Here is that wood grain stamp, and I'm going to use cinnamon cider ink, which is another of the colors in this designer paper. So whatever designer paper you choose or cardstock, you would choose your ink colors accordingly. All right, so here we go. I'm going to ink this up. Then I'm going to stamp off, and this gets that first layer or so of ink off, and then stamp over that so it won't be too bold for the sentiment that's already there. It's almost like a background little stamp there. Okay, but I could stamp it afterwards because it is lighter than the Blackberry Bliss, and I stamped off to get some of the ink off of the original inking. Okay, so now I am going to put this, here's our front, make sure I have it, put this about here close to the top. All right, so I'm going to use some Stampin' Seal Plus again. Again, choose your adhesive. All of our adhesives are great. I prefer the Stampin' Seal Plus over the plain Stampin' Seal. It just has a better hold for humidity wise, you know, if you live in a humid area. All right, so now that needed a little dressing up, right? So I took about a 3x3 piece of our gold foil, and I used 2 of those leafy dies from the Gorgeous Leaves bundle. Right here, you see these 2 little leaves there? I cut those out, and I'm going to put those aside. First, I'm going to add some Simply Elegant trim in gold. I've already tied that in a bow and put a glue dot behind it. And let me go ahead and put this right there, top center. And then I can take these and put a glue dot on the back, and it's going to slide behind a little bit here. You see, I just put that adhesive down the middle, and I want it to extend beyond the side of the box. Okay, so let's do the other one. And I decided to go ahead and put the bow there first before I applied the leaves in case I needed to adjust my placement with the leaves. And I'm putting both of those behind, and see how pretty that is? Okay, so now you can stay tuned to see how we are going to put a nice napkin fold with this little favor box. See you in a minute. Okay, we have another fun fold for you today, and we're not going to tell you what this one is. We're going to let you see the final
product. If I do it right, maybe you figure it out.
Yeah, it'll be right.
Kind of go diagonal here. This one here is thinner napkin, so it's a little.
It's probably easier for this particular fold, huh? With a thinner napkin, not as much body, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Just roll it up. Leave about 4 to 5 inches there. I've got fishing fingers.
So that's a pretty tight roll up you're doing there.
Yes, ma'am. When you get to the end, you find a place to tuck this part. Just gonna tuck it right in there. Pull this down over it and that'll help hold it.
So we have just like a little tea luncheon plate here. And as you can see, it's a pretty little rose. And I thought it would be cute sitting inside the cup. What are you thinking, Jackie? It looks good. And then we have our little favor box that you can put a candle or some essential oils or even candy for your place setting. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that and you'll give it a try. And we'll see you tomorrow with one more Thanksgiving table favor and a fun fold. Thank you, Jackie, for helping me out.
I can't wait to do another one.
Take care. Bye-bye.